What's up, guys? We are back with Thursday Night Football action as the Pittsburgh Steelers go on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns here in Week 12. I'm going to break down injury reports for both teams, look at the weather, and find the best value on the side and over-under. And we're going to take a look at some of my favorite player props for Thursday Night Football. On top of that, we're going to run through the entire 4-game NBA slate, so settle in. We have a great video for you tonight. Unfortunately, guys, it looks like we're going to be coming into this one fresh off of our first losing day in quite some time. We had Cleveland minus 13.5 to start things out. They got the easy blowout win and cover as they bounced back there from that tough loss against the Celtics. A game I think Cleveland wishes they, thinks they could have won. We had the Bulls +8. They could not stay attached there to Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, I mean, the Bucks finding a little bit of life here, but we also were on the wrong side there with the 76ers minus 2.5. They are not finding any life. Now we see Paul George dealing with a knee injury, so things not headed in the right direction for the 76ers at all. We did have the Knicks minus 5.5. That was a nice win, a blowout win there for the Knicks. We need the Orlando Magic to come through here in the late game, but they're having a very rough time there against the Clippers, and really everything that we said could possibly go wrong in that game for Orlando is going wrong. Harden's getting all the calls he needs, and we are seeing just insane three-point shooting there from the Clippers, so looking like it's going to be a 2-3 day, which is unfortunate, but hey guys, we've been having a pretty hot run, so we're not going to complain too much. We're going to try and bounce back here on Thursday night. If you want to win all of your Thursday bets, guys, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It helps out the channel a ton and helps get this video recommended to new viewers. If you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily videos. You can now also sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all NFL and college football videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you. Seeing that little badge next to your comments really keeps me motivated. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, college football, NBA, UFC, NHL, and NCAA basketball, which I will say is on quite the hot run right now. This is one of the best times of the year to be in the mix with so many sports going on. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up, and also to join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We are committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into this Thursday Night Football matchup between the Steelers and Browns. Guys, the Steelers come into this game fresh off of another win. They've won 5 in a row with their most recent win, that very close 18-16 win there over the Baltimore Ravens, definitely being their biggest win of the season. They're now alone there atop the AFC North with their 8-2 record, and that win there over Baltimore definitely helps, if it comes down to tiebreakers. So things really headed in the right direction for the Steelers right now. I mean, in that win over Baltimore, they did their classic thing, guys. They made things very, very tough on Lamar Jackson somehow. I don't know how they always do it. Some sort of voodoo, some sort of magic, I don't know what, but yeah, Mike Tomlin and the Steelers seem to have the recipe to slow down Lamar Jackson. They even slowed down Derrick Henry to some extent, although he had 65 yards on 13 carries, so let's not get too wrapped up in that. But regardless, we loved what we saw from the Steelers. Russell Wilson not having a great day despite going against a terrible defense. Only one he had one interception, was sacked 4 times, passed for 205 yards, but other than that, not a lot of positives for Russell Wilson. Definitely a down night from him. Najee Harris made some decent runs out there, guys. He had 18 carries for 63 yards. Jaylen Warren continues to look very, very good. He had 41 yards out there on 9 carries himself. I think he deserves a little bit more of the carry share there for the Steelers. So we'll see if that happens as the season goes on. No reason not to split things up here, but we'll see what they do. Pickens had a big game, 8 receptions for 89 yards for him. He looked very, very good. Other than that, not a lot of guys really distinguishing themselves there in the pass catching game from the Steelers, but that's pretty much been the story of the entire season. So overall, not in love with what we saw from the Steelers offense there, and it's not like they've been the most insane offense this season, although I'm not going to say they've been horrible. They're currently sitting 15th in the NFL, averaging 23.3 points per game. Whatever, that's not a huge deal, guys. Their defense looked amazing against one of the best offenses, or probably the best offense by some metrics there in the NFL against the Ravens, guys. Holding Lamar to 1 interception, 1 touchdown, sacked him twice. They did allow him to run for 46 yards, but other than that 25-yard scamper that he had, they really, really kept him in check. So a banner day out there for the Steelers defense, which is one of the best in the NFL, guys. They're giving up an average of 16.2 points per contest. So very, very good stuff. Loving what we're seeing right now from the Steelers defense. They just continue to be a very, very dominant unit. So we'll see if they can avoid the letdown in this spot, guys. Looking at the injury report here for the Steelers, they're fully healthy on the offensive line and just in general on the offensive side of the ball, which feels like kind of a miracle at this point in the season, guys. Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, both fully clean bills of health for this game. So yeah, great look here for the Steelers on offense. They are healthy, albeit coming off of a tough game against the Ravens. So it's a little bit surprising even to see nobody listed here on the injury report. So we love the way that's looking for the Steelers right now. And on defense, there have been some injuries over the course of the season, but right now they're looking close to fully healthy. The only problem being Alex Highsmith, who's going to be out for this game. He's still dealing with that ankle issue, but overall, guys, this team is looking very healthy considering that we're in week 12 of the season. You would expect them to be more banged up than they are, but right now, things are looking pretty clear there in terms of the injury report for the Steelers. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Cleveland Browns, who are not having a great time, guys. They did get that one win there against Baltimore. It felt like a miracle win, that 29-24 win, but since then, kind of been a downturn, guys. They lost to the Chargers 27-10, and then last week they got blown out 35-14 at the New Orleans Saints. So things have been a little bit rough here for the Browns. They haven't, this isn't a season like they imagined it would be. I would assume the dream was that Watson would come back and look good, but that is not what happened. Yeah, Winston, he did pass for 2 touchdowns, nearly 400 yards in that loss, but it was not enough. He somehow was not intercepted in the game, which is pretty crazy to see, but he was sacked 3 times, and while he did do a good job getting the ball to Jerry Jeudy, not a whole lot of other guys going super nuts out there. Njoku did have a good game, don't get me wrong, but Nick Chubb, only 50 yards on 11 carries. He's doing what he can, but he's coming back from a catastrophic knee injury, so we're not expecting miracles. And to be honest, how much better can we really expect Jameis Winston to be? The dude threw 0 interceptions. That's crazy for him. That is very crazy. So really, I don't think we can be that upset with what we saw from the Browns offense last week. They just didn't really put up quite enough points. They only found the end zone twice. They, took relatively good care of the ball. Honestly, 0 turnovers in the game. What more can you really ask? Maybe a little bit better play on 3rd down or something, but really, Winston throwing 0 interceptions and 2 touchdown passes is about as good as you could possibly even theoretically expect. So good stuff there from the Browns on offense last week, but bad stuff there on defense, guys. They didn't do a good job of slowing down Derek Carr, allowing him to complete 21 of 27 passes for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. They only sacked him 1 time. Taysom Hill went absolutely nuts. The Browns had no answer for him. He put up 138 yards on only 7 carries. He had a 75-yard run in that game. Crazy stuff. Kamara also looked good there in the running game. Not amazing, but definitely fine. He caught a few passes, kind of did his thing out there. Valdez-Scantling had another big game, guys. Caught only 2 of 4 targets, but one of them was a 71-yard catch. So the Browns really need to be limiting those big plays, and I don't know if they've really got the personnel to do it this season because it's looked very rough at times. Over the course of the season, guys, the Browns are giving up 24.8 points per game. That is 24th in the NFL. A huge step backwards from what we were seeing from this team last year in terms of their defense. So we'll see if they can pick it up a little bit here. Looking at their injury report, guys, it doesn't look amazing. The Browns offense is getting slightly healthier right now. They're going to be without at least 1 starting offensive lineman, but other than that, they're technically fine, but they're starting a non-starter level quarterback out there. So it's hard to say they're untouched by injuries with Jameis Wilson under center. On defense, clearly not the unit it was a season ago. Between Tuesday and Wednesday, that report suddenly became much shorter and much healthier. So technically they're healthy, but I don't know if I'm 100% buying it, guys. I think this is a squad with a few more question marks on there than they're willing to admit. I know these guys are going to start and play in this game, but are they going to play their full increment of snaps? Are they really going to be at 100% out there, especially playing on the short week? I don't know, but it seems a little bit tough to me, guys. So, yeah, that's kind of what I've got for the Browns here. Let's go ahead and move on and look at this weather report, which is a very interesting one, and I think is going to have a big impact on this game, guys. Overall, it's looking pretty bad. Temperatures around the mid-30s makes this on the colder side of primetime games that have happened this season. On top of that, it's going to be windy and rainy, guys. 15-mile-per-hour winds holding steady throughout the game with gusts up to 22 miles an hour. So plenty strong enough winds there to impact the kicking game in a big way, and even enough to make the passing game a little bit shaky out there. So major wind concerns in this one. There's also well over a 50% chance of rain out there for this game. So yeah, I think it's going to be miserable. There's a possibility there even being a rain and snow mix given where the temperature is going to be at. at. So I think weather is a major concern in this one. I don't think anybody's going to be having a great time out there on Thursday night in Cleveland for this game. It's going to be a little bit gross out there. So looking at the trends for this one, guys, the Steelers are 8-2 against the spread this season. They are 5-5 over under. Cleveland is 3-7 against the spread this year. They are 6-4 to the under. Some stats for this, guys. Thursday night football home teams are 29-43 against the spread from 2020 to 2023, but this season they're 8-3 against the spread. So home team's doing a lot better on Thursday night football this year. Is that a trend we can trust to continue tonight? Seems like a little bit of a big ask to me, guys. I don't think we're going to overcomplicate this one too much. The public is big here on the Steelers, but we haven't been letting that scare us away, especially on these standalone games. Tomlin, not great as a favorite on the road. Still, though, the coaching edge is for sure towards the Steelers in a big way in this matchup. I'm not very bought in on the Jameis Winston experience either. The Steelers are 8-1 in their last 9 games when facing AFC North opponents, and the Browns have dropped each of their last 5 games when they are coming off of a road loss. So, guys, I'm going to be siding with the Steelers here, -3.5. Not necessarily my favorite pick on this game, but I definitely think there's some value there. It's certainly going to be ending up in the pinned comment for this video. I just think we're going to see good stuff there from the Steelers. They're going to control this game, and I really, really think we're going to see Cleveland struggle to put up much offense at all in this matchup, unless we see just like the worst performance of the season here for the Steelers defense, which I have no reason to expect. In terms of the over-under, the under seems like a great play in this game to me, guys. The under is 8-0 in the Browns' last 8 November games at home. The under is 11-1 in the Steelers' last 12 November games when they have been road favorites. And the under is 9-1 in the last 10 games between teams from the same division. Definitely give me the under in this one. It's not a huge number out there. Obviously, 37, not a ton of points, but I think we're going to see offense be at an absolute premium in this game. With the weather being crappy, neither offense really being amazing, I definitely think we should be expecting an under. I could see this game being something like 20-10 or even something like, 17-3. Like, this could be a really messy, low-scoring game. So definitely give me the under in this one, in addition to taking the Steelers there -3.5. Now, guys, let's jump over and look at some player props for this game. And there's some interesting ones out there, even though this is a game I expect offense to be a little bit of a premium, guys. I think Judy here over 44.5 receiving yards at -130. He's been over that number by a lot in his last 3 games. I don't think we're going to see Winston start going away from him. I am worried about the weather impacting this, but getting to 45 yards is not crazy, guys. And I think we see that happen the vast majority of the time. Staying on the Cleveland side, guys, I think Njoku over 44.5 receiving yards himself at -125. He was over that number in 3 out of the last 4 weeks. I would probably take one of these, not both, but you could definitely talk me into taking both, especially if you think this is a game, you might want to be on the Cleveland side. So yeah, I do think either one of these guys could comfortably get over their receiving yards number. And yeah, while neither price is necessarily amazing, I do think these are reasonable spots. On the Steelers side, guys, I think Jaylen Warren over 34.5 rushing yards at -130 is great value. That's a play that I can tell you is for sure ending up in the pinned comment. Warren has been over that number 4 weeks in a row. I think they want to keep splitting up carries here as much as they can. And sorry for the Najee Harris owners out there, but Warren needs to be getting his share of touches, guys. He is a dynamic back. He's putting up positive yardage. Time for him to get some carries, and I think he gets to 35 yards in this game, absolutely no problem. Now, guys, I've got a kicking prop for you, which is a pretty interesting one. Not something I usually go to, but guys, Hopkins has been terrible. He was 0-2 last week. I don't think we're going to see much scoring in this game in general, so we're not going to see a lot of extra points. I like him under 5.5 kicking points in this game at -105. It also doesn't hurt that the weather is going to be terrible, so I can see him missing some kicks again this week. It's not going to be a nice environment out there, and yeah, even kicking points I think will be at a premium. And my last prop that I like tonight is Pickens, guys. I like him here over 4.5 receptions at +120. That price tag is very attractive to me. He's been over that number in 3 out of the last 4 weeks. And guys, he leads this team in targets all the time. Like, he is their best wide receiver. Getting 5 catches doesn't seem too crazy to me. I could see him getting, easily 9 to 10 targets, and surely he catches close to half of those, especially, even though the weather's going to be bad, I think Pickens is going to get his share of grabs. grabs. So that's all we've got for the Thursday night game, guys. Now we're going to go ahead and hop over and look at some NBA basketball action. Hey guys, quick ad break here. We are on a super hot streak over at stumpthespread.com. Our college basketball picks have been absolutely on fire. Click the link in the description if you're interested in signing up. We have a ton of sports going on right now, and signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our entire team of cappers. We're covering NFL, college football, NBA, NHL, UFC, and college basketball, which has been killing it so far this year. We make things extremely easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play, so you can see what our confidence level is on each individual matchup. If you want to test out the service before you buy, join our free email list to get the occasional free or even sometimes a premium pick straight to your inbox. We also will update you on how things have been going, what our record's been lately, and stuff like that. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Also, if you want to experience peer-to-peer sports betting while paying almost zero juice, guys, click the link in the description and sign up at betopenly.com. You can make bets against your friends there or against your enemies, whoever you want to, and you can really find some good lines out there, and you don't have to worry about the fact that the sportsbook has some vested interest in whether you are right or wrong on your prediction. They don't care. They're just there to make sure that you can find a partner to take your bet from another real person out there. So that's all I've got right now, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let's get back to the games. First up, guys, we've got the Detroit Pistons. They're going on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets. The Pistons come into this game fresh off of a 122-112 loss there against the Chicago Bulls. They're 7-9 on the season, so things are definitely pointed in a much more positive direction than we saw at any point last year, but the Pistons still probably not thrilled with where they're at. In that loss to the Bulls, guys, we did see them shoot the ball relatively well from three. They struggled a bit from the line. They did have a slight edge there in the rebounding battle thanks to Jalen Duren having a 22 rebound monster performance. Cade played well, only 3 turnovers in the game, put up 26 points. We did see Malik Beasley, who's been great off the bench. He was only 5 of 14 from three-point range, so not terrible. He had 21 points in the game. But yeah, guys, they just really didn't have a lot of great answers there defensively. The Bulls were absolutely shooting the lights out in that game, and yeah, just overall, they couldn't keep it, super close. Ended up losing that game by 10, but not a terrible outing there by the Pistons, who, like I said, guys, having a much better season this year than they did a year ago. It makes a big difference that, when you have a head coach that's trying to help you win games instead of actively sabotaging your team and trying to get himself fired. If he wasn't trying to do that, guys, Monty Williams was doing a way too good of an impression of somebody trying to get fired. So I don't know what was going on there, but in terms of their injury report, we see Asar Thompson out for this game, but other than that, a clean bill of health here for the Detroit Pistons. So we expect them to be effectively at full strength here as they go on the road to take on the Charlotte Hornets, who come into this game 5-9 on the season. They're fresh off of a 116-115 loss there at the Brooklyn Nets. Back-to-back road losses. That little 2-game road trip is over, though, and now they're going to be back home here, to welcome the Detroit Pistons. So we'll see what they can do in that loss, guys. Brandon Miller, 29 points. He looked very good. 5 of 9 from 3. Dominant stuff out there. Miles Bridges had a very good game as well. 21 points for him. But LaMelo Ball, guys, he was terrible. Only 3 of 13 from the field. Only played 24 minutes. He was 3 of 8 from three-point range. He had 5 assists, but he also had 4 turnovers. Just not a very good game from him. And they wasted a great performance from their bench, honestly. Much better than you would expect their bench to be, especially playing on the road. We saw 34 bench points. 19 of those came from Trey Mann. Yeah, just a very good bench night in general. And yeah, the Hornets ended up losing this game despite shooting 54.1% from three-point range. That is not something you see very often. And they won the battle of the boards. Like, this is not a game you're supposed to be losing, guys. They just lost to a big Cam Johnson game, and I guess there's really nothing else they could do. It was a close one. It was a close one, obviously. But yeah, just a rough look there for the Hornets. So in terms of the Hornets' health for this game, guys, they've had some injuries this season, but right now things not looking ideal. Miles Bridges is on the injury report. Nick Richards is marked as out for this game. Trey Mann also on the injury report. Yeah, Nick Richards, he just had an MRI on Tuesday. Right first rib cartilage fracture, so he's not going to be playing. At least it wasn't a broken collarbone like they were worried it might be. Miles Bridges, he comes into this game probable. He's dealing with left knee soreness. I think we're going to see him play in this game. Obviously, a probable designation doesn't really scare me off. Trey Mann, who's been very important for this team coming off the bench, he is also probable. Do we even have a designation for low back soreness? So yeah, I think we're going to see almost a full strength Charlotte Hornets for this game. So looking at the numbers, we see Charlotte is getting 1.5 points. We've got an over under of 220.5. Detroit, they're 5-2-1 against the spread when playing on the road. Charlotte is 4-3 against the spread at home. We've got both teams showing significant trends here towards the under. Detroit is actually 7-1 to the under on the road. Charlotte is 5-2 to the under at home. We've got a total here of 220.5. Guys, give me the under in this game. I love this spot. It's a great play. We don't have to mess with the side on this one. We just can root for every basket not to go in. So definitely give me the under in this one. It's going right into that pinned comment. Next up, guys, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going on the road to take on the Toronto Raptors. The Timberwolves come into this game 8-6 on the season, so they're kind of turning things around. They come into this one fresh off of a nice win there against the Suns, a 20-17 win. I know, guys, it's not the full strength Suns, but hey, you got to take the positives where you can. We saw that big game winner there from Julius Randle, so that's got to feel pretty nice. Who would have thought we were going to see game winners this season from guys not Anthony Edwards there playing for the Timberwolves? So yeah, Julius Randle, a crazy night for him. Definitely his best night as a Timberwolf. A plus 16, 35 points, 5-11 from 3. Just a monster performance from him. And the Timberwolves in general played great. They shot 43% from three-point range. They got to the line 26 times. They did get kind of dominated on the boards there, which is a pretty big concern since they didn't even, this was against a Suns team that didn't even have KD or Beal for this game. So yeah, not a great look for them on the glass. Rudy Gobert, 10 rebounds in the game. I think, since you're a guy that does know how to play offense, you probably need to be grabbing those boards there, bud. But we'll see what they can do. The bench was great there for the Timberwolves. Naz Reid and Dante DiVincenzo both seem like they are, finding their way a little bit better this season than they were, or, at this point in the season, they were in the first few games. So definitely a lot of things pointing in the right direction with the Timberwolves. We do see Mike Conley and Dante DiVincenzo both on the injury report. Conley comes into this one. He's questionable with that left great toe sprain. So yeah, your big toe on your left foot, especially when you're a left-handed player, that can make a difference too. That's going to be something to monitor. I don't think it's a lock that he plays in this game. Dante DiVincenzo dealing with some back stuff. He's a tough guy. I think it's a little bit more likely that he plays in this game, but how is that jump shot going to look if your back's bothering you? I do worry about what his effectiveness level will be. So we'll see what the Timberwolves can do here as they go on the road to take on the Toronto Raptors, who come into this game fresh off of a 130-119 win there over the Pacers. Very, very good stuff for a pretty spunky Raptors team. I know they're only 3-12 on the season, but guys, they have been in some games this year, so got to give them credit where credit is due. We saw Jakob Poeltl, 30 points from him, 39 points there from RJ Barrett, who is absolutely hooping right now. Crazy stuff right now. Grady Dick shot 3 of 6 from threes. Good things there. The bench looked pretty good. As a team, they shot almost 50% from three-point range. They did a decent job defending the Pacers. I mean, they did win the game by 11 points, but it wasn't an insane defensive performance. Don't get me wrong. They gave 119 points. They had to score 130 to win. But we are looking at the positives right now for the Toronto Raptors, who played great in that game, and they're not even a roster that's at full strength, guys. I mean, Emmanuel Quickley and Scotty Barnes are out. Like, at some point, team is too good to be tanking. I know they're, somehow having a terrible year, but if Quickley was going to be back, I mean, it's reported he won't play in this game, still dealing with that elbow thing, and Scotty Barnes with his eye, he's questionable for this game, so we'll see. We've had a lot of weird injury news here in the NBA recently, like guys getting marked as not going to play, ending up playing and stuff like that, so we'll have to keep a very close eye on things leading up to game time, but I think there's a decent chance Scotty Barnes plays in this game, and all of a sudden things are looking different for a Toronto Raptors team that comes into this game, guys. They are getting 6.5 or 7 points in this one. We've got an over of 226.5. Minnesota's only 3-4 against the spread on the road. They're 5-2 to the over on the road. Toronto is 5-2 against the spread at home. They're 6-1 to the over. So first up, guys, you could definitely interest me in over 226.5. The trends are just pointing to it way too hard right now, and I just think this is a reasonable spot to be looking at the over. But I also think you want to be on the Toronto Raptors getting 7 points here. I know they're in a bit of a letdown spot, but we've got guys coming off of the injury list, so I think that is a little bit canceled out. And yeah, the Timberwolves are also in a big letdown spot after that game winner against the Suns. And guys, they took everything they could do to barely edge out a 3-point win there over the Phoenix Suns. So yeah, things are not all right now with the Timberwolves. Give me the Toronto Raptors and the points here at home, and give me a taste of that over. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Utah Jazz. They're going on the road here to take on the San Antonio Spurs. The Jazz come into this game 3-11 on the year, fresh off a 124-118 loss there at the Lakers, guys, and they've lost 3 in a row now, losing at the Lakers, at the Clippers, and at Sacramento. Not really the worst losses out there. They had no answer out there for Dalton Connect, guys. They did keep the game close enough for us. We did have the Jazz plus 11 in that one, so we'll definitely take the win there, but they were down a lot early. And like I said, no answers out there for Connect, who had just an insane day for a rookie, putting up 37 points on 9 of 12 from three-point range. Utah, on the other hand, has to be relieved to see Markkanen have a bit of a bounce back, guys. He put up 25 points in a loss. Colin Sexton had 19 of his own. We saw the Jazz shoot 33% from three-point range, so they would like that number to improve. They did have a significant edge there on the boards, which really helped them get back into the game. They turned the ball over 14 times in the game, which isn't horrible, but yeah, this team just not one that's built to really compete for wins at the moment. So we'll see what they can do in this matchup. I mean, looking at their injury report, we see Walker Kessler still marked as out, but you never know when guys are going to come back off the injured list right now. It's been really unreliable news at the moment, but Jordan Clarkson, he's questionable with this left plantar fasciitis, so we'll see if he plays. Walker Kessler, he's been ruled out for this game against the Spurs, so we'll see if that actually happens. In terms of the Spurs coming into this game, they're 7-8 on the year. They're coming off a 110-104 win there over the Thunder. Very impressive stuff there. Obviously, they weren't at 100% in that game necessarily. The Thunder aren't, not even close to 100%, but we liked what we saw from the Spurs. Harrison Barnes finally had a big game. He put up 20 points. Chris Paul put up 14. Nice stuff from the bench, guys. Keldon Johnson is looking like a monster off the bench. 22 points from him, 12 from Charles Baisley. Just a very good game for the Spurs, who shot 42% from three and did all this without Wembanyama on the court. So yeah, definitely some nice positive things that he kept things even on the boards there, and yeah, just a very nice night. They overcame turning the ball over 21 times, which is pretty crazy to see. They're on the wrong side of the turnover margin by 8, and they still managed to get this win. But hey, good job there for the Spurs. In terms of their injury report, it's looking pretty messed up right now. We see Wembanyama, Vassell, Chris Paul, and Zach Collins all on there. Zach Collins, he is questionable for this one, left knee tendonitis, so we'll see if he plays. I think there's definitely a chance. Chris Paul dealing with a left thumb sprain. Seems a little bit unlikely to me that he'll play, but we'll see what happens. We'll try and stay updated on that. Devin Vassell has been ruled out for this game with his knee thing, and Wembanyama, he is out as well. He's dealing with that knee issue. So going to be far from the full strength San Antonio Spurs. Looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Jazz are still getting 2.5 points here playing on the road. We've got an over-under of 222.5. Utah's 5-3 against the spread on the road. They're 4-4 to the over/under on the road. San Antonio, they're 5-4 against the spread at home, and they're 5-4 to the under at home. Guys, I think this is a great spot to be on the Utah Jazz and the points. I don't even think they should be the underdog in this game. I think the wrong team is favored right now. The Spurs are very banged up. Even if Chris Paul plays, he's not going to be at full strength. They're going to be missing several important guys there, and I just think this is a very good opportunity to buy low on a Utah Jazz team that's coming off a tough loss, and to sell high on the San Antonio Spurs, who are coming off of a big for them win. So definitely give me the Jazz and the points in this one. In terms of that over-under, I don't really have a big lean on that. Last but not least here, guys, we've got the Orlando Magic. They're going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Magic come into this game fresh off of that loss last night. They played last night at the Clippers, so not really having to travel. They're already there in LA. They'll just have to go to the Staples Center for this one. The Magic come into this game 9-7 on the year. That 104-93 loss there at the Clippers. Kind of an annoying spot, guys. I mean, we did see Franz Wagner finally have a bad night. He was 0-4 from 3, only put up 14 points in the loss. Jalen Suggs actually shot the ball relatively well, but he was still a -10. We saw Anthony Black have another massive game coming off the bench. Mo Wagner didn't have a great night either. It was just a bit of a down day there for the Magic, who only came with 24 rebounds in the whole game, guys. They got doubled up there by the Clippers, who had 49 boards against the 24 there of the Magic. Crazy stuff there. A low effort game from Orlando. Really sucks to be on that side when a team has just one of these just absolute stinker games. So they're going to be trying to bounce back here in terms of their injury report, which isn't super updated yet, guys, so be checking on that. We see Wendell Carter Jr. still marked as out, but there's a chance he could end up back for this game. Obviously, we're not going to see Paolo back for quite some time, so not going to be the full strength Magic, but I do think they're in a decent bounce back spot here as they go on the road to take on the Lakers, who have now won 6 in a row, which is pretty nice. LeBron's taking some weird break from social media, so I don't know what the deal is with that, but that's grabbing some headlines. Their last one was that 124-118 win there against the Utah Jazz. They haven't been playing any tough teams. I mean, wins over the Jazz, Pelicans, Spurs, Grizzlies, Raptors, and 76ers. Not really going to get me too fired up, but you got to give them credit. They're beating who's in front of them, so good job there by the Lakers. in that win over the Jazz. That was the Dalton Connect game. Obviously, he put up 37 points on 9 of 12 from 3. We saw LeBron and Anthony Davis both put up very nice numbers as well. And yeah, just a very good day for the Lakers, who shot 45.2% from three-point range. It didn't matter that they got out-rebounded in that game, so we'll see if they're able to replicate any of that in this one. I do think this is a bit of a letdown spot for the Lakers, coming off of that big win there in NBA Cup play. Now they have to play just a regular game at home against the Magic. We'll see what happens in that one, guys. I mean, the Lakers injury report for this one is looking not ideal. I mean, Anthony Davis is always going to be on there, so we're not super worried about him. He's probable for this game with, the plantar fasciitis in his left foot, yada, yada. We know that's going to go on for the rest of his life. Rui Hachimura still dealing with that ankle. He's questionable for the game against Orlando. You would think he'd be very, very close to coming back, but if he does come back, like, how effective are those, pull-up jumpers from the elbow going to be if he's dealing with a bad ankle? So we'll see what version of the Lakers we get in this one. They're 4.5-point favorites, so the odds makers like them. We've got an over-under of 217.5. Orlando, they're only 2-6 on the road this season against the spread. The Lakers are 5-2 against the spread at home. We've got really no meaningful trends here for the over-under, and in general, I don't love that over-under play of 217.5, but I do think there's some reason to take the Orlando Magic here, getting 4.5 points in a bounce-back spot against the Lakers, who are maybe in a letdown spot, but I don't know, guys. That seems a little bit tough to me. So my lean in this one's going to be the Magic, but it is not going anywhere near that pinned comment. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. And if you like these videos, go ahead and subscribe. If you have any questions for me, please let me know down in the comments. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I answer every single comment every day. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.